National Hot Dog Day, National Sunglasses Day, National Witch Hazel Day. Why is that a thing? Where did this whole thing come from? Who picks these days? Explain it to me.
Take it easy. I've got all the answers. Welcome to By the Way Today Is. Kate, what are you looking at so intently on your computer?
Yeah, I'm on eBay.
Okay, what are you doing on eBay?
I'm in a 3-way bidding war over a used parachute.
A used parachute?
Yes, I really hope I get it.
A used parachute wouldn't make you nervous?
Well, it's not just any used parachute.
Not to mention the fact that you've never used a parachute in your life.
I have never jumped out of a plane.
Well, I can tell you a story about someone who did.
Oh, yeah?
Might change your mind about parachuting out of a plane, or
Okay.
maybe it'll give you an idea. Are you familiar with the whole D.B. Cooper story?
Am I?
I don't know. That's why
yes,
I
I
asked.
am.
So I don't know if you know, but today's November 24th, and it's National D.B. Cooper Day.
Well, that's pretty exciting.
It is, and that's why I'm going to tell you the story.
I want to hear it.
Okay. So it's a very mysterious story. You ready for mystery?
I already know it, but I still want to hear it.
So D.B. Cooper's story is about an airplane hijacking that occurred in 1971, and the man who hijacked the plane basically vanished, and the FBI has never been able to solve the mystery. And it's a fact that it's the only hijacking that never has been solved. Every other one has a conclusion to it. This one is still unsolved, never knowing what happened.
So it's just feeding into the hype.
Mm-hmm. So our by the way fact for our story today: how many airplane hijackings were there in the United States between 1968 and 1972?
I feel like there was more than people realize.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say there was 25.
No. 130.
Oh my God. I knew it was really high, but I didn't want to go into the hundreds.
In the United States between those years, there was 130 airplane hijackings.
Which is, what are people doing?
And this one was one of them. So this hijacking occurred on the day before Thanksgiving, November 24th, 1971. And that's why today is D.B. Cooper Day, November 24th. The whole thing for D.B. Cooper Day got started when a bar in Ariel, Washington, which is a state in the United States, they had a celebration to mark the 25th anniversary. And the reason it was there is because that's the location that a lot of people believe that he jumped from the plane from, is over that town. And you can't go to that location because that bar is now closed. So you have to celebrate it in different ways.
Darn.
But they do still do something in the town. So if you're there, you can go there and celebrate with people. But the short of the story is this. There was a man going by the name of Dan Cooper. He got on a Northwest Orient Flight 305 short flight going from Portland to Seattle. And he just looked like any other normal guy just traveling on a plane at that time. Suit, tie, raincoat. People used to get dressed up to go on airplanes. And he got on, handed a note to the flight attendant. She played it off at first, thinking that he was just some creepy guy, like always would hit on the flight attendants back then. She thought he was just giving her his phone number. But after a while, he told her that she needed to read it and that it was a note saying he had a bomb. She didn't believe it. She looked. Sure enough, that's what it was. He showed her his briefcase, and that briefcase appeared to have a bomb in it. So the hijacking was officially on at this point. So you might be wondering, he has a suitcase with a bomb in it. How did he get through security?
I feel like it was like almost non-existent back then.
100% right. There was absolutely no security. Airports didn't start using metal detectors and bag searches until 1973. So 2 years after this happened is when all the security started. And people didn't use, or airports didn't use security before this because they were scared that it would deter people from flying, thinking it was unsafe. But somehow those 130 hijackings made them feel more comfortable.
We'd much rather have all these hijackings. And why is there so many hijackings? Would somebody just get up in the morning and they're like, God, I can't take this day anymore. You know what? I'm going to go hijack a plane.
I think there was a lot of copycats and people were getting money, getting what they wanted. So people were doing it.
Wild times.
Crazy years. So anyways, he made a demand for the plane, this flight, to land in Seattle, refuel, be given $200,000, 2 front parachutes, 2 back parachutes. So he got his request. He got the money all in 20s. So he got $200,000 all in 20s. And he was given military parachutes at first, but he rejected those. He didn't want the military ones. He wanted civilian ones. So they gave him civilian parachutes. And he allowed everyone off the flight once it landed except for the crew. The crew had to stay back on. They were on the ground for 2 hours before they took off again. And then he sent everyone that was still on the crew into the cockpit. And when everyone was up there, he lowered the emergency stairs and jumped with the money tied to his waist. Nobody was in the cockpit in the plane when he jumped in the seating area, so no one saw him do it. And the crazy part is he was never found. Some of the money eventually was found, washed up downstream, but there was no trace of Dan whatsoever. And you might be wondering, why is it called DB Cooper Day, but his name is Dan?
I'm not, because I know why, but I want you to say it anyways.
There was a printing mistake in a newspaper, and that never got corrected, so everyone called him DB Cooper.
I mean, that does sound way better than D. Cooper. DB
Yeah.
Cooper has just got such a ring to it.
It's a lot cooler sounding.
Yeah.
So this case was worked on for 45 years by the FBI, and then in 2016, they declared the case suspended, not to pick it up again. So there's a lot of theories out there about the man. A lot of people think he died when he parachuted out of the plane, but they don't know because there wasn't any remains found. And there was a big deal because the bills were not marked, but they were traceable, and none of the money was ever used. The only thing they ever found was a few of the bills that went downstream. So it's just huge mystery about DB Cooper. And there's been over a dozen suspects of people they thought might have been him, but none of them were ever convicted of the hijacking.
There's a lot of people that on their deathbed claimed to be DB Cooper.
I think I'm going to do that. Just a forewarning.
I'm DB Cooper even though I wasn't born.
My
And then
last
you'll die.
words. So speaking of death, how are we celebrating DB Cooper Day today?
Did you just say speaking of death? What a segue.
Death celebration. I'm the segue king. So if you're going to celebrate it today, you can read up on the story if you aren't familiar with it. There's a lot more details than the things that I just briefly mentioned. And I mentioned before, if you're near Ariel, Washington, you can visit the area where they believed he jumped to, so you can kind of see what it looks like there. There's a movie that you can watch called The Pursuit of DB Cooper. That's out there to watch. And there's actually a couple documentaries on Netflix and HBO that talk about the whole incident and then the follow-up of trying to track down who DB Cooper was. And if none of that interests you, there's also some books that you could dig into as well to get more details about the whole incident. So lots of ways you can celebrate it today.
It's exciting. I feel like you should also dress like the sketch of DB Cooper. The sunglasses, the tie.
Get dressed up in a business suit, wear a rain jacket, put a hat on, put some sunglasses on, and take a flight somewhere and tell them you're DB Cooper.
Hey, don't mind me. I'm DB Cooper. I don't have a bomb, though, because now we have security, and then do finger guns.
But I do have these. Choo, choo, choo. So that's how we're going to
celebrate.
That's how I'm going to celebrate. I don't know how you're going to celebrate, but that's our episode for today.
Wait, you're going to steal my idea?
Yes.
Oh,
it's all
okay.
mine now.
All right.
So come back tomorrow. We'll have a new day for you to celebrate. I'll try not to steal an idea again tomorrow. And in the meantime, you can go to our website, bythewaytodayis.com. You can listen to old episodes. You can subscribe there to be able to get new episodes into your podcast player every single day. You can rate us, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review our show. You can download new episodes daily to hear what day we are all celebrating and how we can celebrate it. And be sure to share your favorite episode with your favorite person so you guys can celebrate together.